I put you to sleep with nonsense, the most boring topic ever. An instruction manual. Please read and save this guide. Model 157900 WD. Thank you for choosing this premium appliance. These installation instructions are part of our commitment for your satisfaction and product quality throughout the life of this appliance. Installation checklist. Shipping hardware. Foam. Shipping support. Under wash tub. Removed and stored. Shipping bolts and spacers removed from rear appliance and stored. Shipped bag in drum installed in holes in back sheet. Leveling. Washer is level, side to side and front to back. Cabinet is sitting solid on all four corners. Water supply. Only use new hoses and verify rubber sealing washers are installed. Hot supply is connected to hot inlet and cold supply is connected to cold inlet. Hot and cold water supply turned on. No leaks present at water supply or appliance inlet connections. Recheck in 24 hours or don't. Drain. Stand pipe or wall drain height 4.2 feet. Drain hose snapped in U channel, shipped in drum. Drain hose secured in place with cable tie. Electrical power. House power turned on. Washer plugged in. Final checks. Installation instructions and use and care guide read thoroughly. Door locks and water enters drum when cycle starts. Registration card set in. Tools and materials. Adjustable wrench or 3/8 of an inch or 10 millimeter box wrench. Racket and socket set. Optional universal wrench or adjustable pliers. Carpenter's level. Hoses are not included. See accessories for various inlet hose kits to fit your specific installation. Electrical system requirements: circuit, individually, properly polarized and grounded 15 amp branch circuit fused with 15 amp time delay fuse or circuit breaker. 2 wire with ground 120 volt single phase 60 hertz alternating current. Because of potentially inconsistent voltage capabilities, the use of this appliance with power created by gas-powered generators, solar-powered generators, wind-powered generators, or any other generator other than the local utility company is not recommended. Outlet receptacle: properly grounded 3-prong receptacle to be located so the power cord is accessible when the water is in an installed position. Do not cut, remove, or bypass the grounding prong. GFI ground fault interrupter receptacle is not required. The appliance must be grounded. In the event of malfunction, grounding will reduce the risk of shock by a path of least resistance for the electrical current. Since this appliance is equipped with a power supply cord having an equipment grounding conductor and a grounding plug, the plug must be plugged into an appropriate copper wired receptacle that is properly installed and grounded in accordance with all local codes and ordinances, or, in the absence of such codes, with the National Electrical Codes ANSI 70 is the latest edition. If in doubt, call a licensed electrician. Do not cut off or alter the grounding prog or the power supply cord. In situations where the 2-slot receptacle is present, have a licensed electrician replace it with a properly grounded 3-prong grounding type receptacle. The compact model number ELFE4 may have a compact washer through it. Step 1. Remove door tape and empty drum contents, including foam shipping brace inside the rubber gasket of the door. Using a foam corner post from the packaging to protect the floor, carefully lay the washer on its side. Remove styrofoam base and set aside. Carefully return the washer to an upright position. Save styrofoam base and shipping bases for use to prevent washer damage during any future moves. The drain hose is secured in place with 2 plastic latching clamps. Press the locking tab and release the drain hose. Remove all of the following from the back of the washer: 3 shipping bolts, 2 plastic clamps, and 3 shipping spacers. Rubber expansion material or spacers may need time to relax before they can easily be pulled through the shipping hole. Save all shipping bolts and spacers for future use. If the appliance is to be transported at a later date, the shipping hardware will be reinstalled to help prevent shipping damage. Locate hole plugs in the small bag supplied with washer instruction guides. Cut them apart from each other and insert them gently into the holes in the appliance's back panel. Excessive vibration may be prevented by properly leveling the appliance. For freestanding installation, the appliance within 4 feet or 1 meter of its final location, place a level on top of the appliance. Use adjustable pliers or the universal wrench to adjust the leveling legs so the appliance is level front to rear and side to side, and stable corner to corner. Press down on alternate corners and sides to feel for any movement. Adjust the appropriate legs so it sits solidly on the floor on all 4 legs. Keep the leveling leg extension at a minimum for best performance. Run some cool water from the cold faucet and add to that hot water from the hot faucet to flush the water lines and remove any particles that might clog the water valve, and to determine which faucet is hot and which is the cold supply. Hoses are not included with washer appliance purchase. See the accessories section for various inlet hose kits. Connect now the hot inlet hose in the hot inlet connection and the cold inlet hose to the cold inlet connection. Tighten by hand until snug. Then tighten each supply connection another 2/3 turn with the pliers. Do not cross thread or over tighten these connections. Connect the hot inlet hose to the hot water supply and the cold to the cold water supply. Tighten by hand and then again tighten 2/3 turn with the pliers. Do not bend, kink, or pinch the water inlet hoses. Now turn on the water and check for leaks. Connecting drain and electrical. Snap one end of the drain hose hanger onto the drain hose. Continue wrapping it around and wrapping it around the hanger and snap it snugly into place. Place the hook end of the drain hose into the drain opening. Secure the drain hose with the cable tie provided in the package. Connect this to the standpipe, inlet hose, laundry tub, etc., so the hose does not pull out from the force of the water. Check to ensure the power is off at a circuit breaker before plugging the power cord into an inlet. Plug the power cord into a grounded outlet. Turn on the power at the circuit breaker. Carefully slide the appliance to its final resting position. Recheck for water levels, rock the corners, and check once again for stability. Remove and discard door tape. The use and care guide provided with the washer contains valuable and helpful information that will save you time. Place these instructions in a location near to the appliance for future reference. Depending on the model of the appliance, a kit for stacking a matching top may have been included in the initial purchase. A universal appliance wrench is available to aid in the pedestal feet adjustment. If replacement parts are needed, you may contact the source of where you purchased your appliance or Look at the back for more information. Now your appliance is ready for use. You have installed it properly. You have ensured that it is stable on its foundation. To avoid unnecessary service calls, your appliance has been very carefully engineered. Many times, what appears to be a reason to call for service requires nothing more than a simple adjustment you can easily make on your own at home. Before calling a service person, you may refer to the list of troubleshooting solutions that you may use to remedy the most basic problems you may find. This appliance is an automatic appliance with a capacity of up to 10 pounds or 4.5 kilograms dry weight. It is front loading with a large, spacious door for ease of access. It has two separate 1 kilowatt heaters, air venting, and an internal filter. The controls provide easy selection for all of the settings. It has a variable timer, a temperature control thermostat, and an automatic cooling feature at the end of each and every cycle. It is available with an optional stacking kit to pair up with a matching appliance and an optional exterior venting kit. Of course, you will want to obtain the best possible performance by following the instructions given here, and you will receive excellent results. Please ensure that the installation instructions have been followed. Should you need any further advice or assistance, you may contact the dealer from whom your appliance was purchased. Dimensions and specifications: 23.5 inches wide, its depth 22 inches. It has a height that reaches a total of 33.5 inches. It weighs 99 pounds and has an effective motor at 250 watts. The voltage is 240 with 60 hertz. The heater has been equipped with 15 amps and a capacity of 11 pounds for your convenience. Use a strong, level floor in a protected, dry, and well-ventilated area close to a power supply of sufficient capacity. Grounding should be done in accordance with local codes by a qualified installer. Venting to the outside of the house is recommended. If it is not vented, it is not a big deal. The moisture removed from the clothing during the cycle may prove objectionable if the room itself is not well ventilated. However, most houses today are more than adequately ventilated for the dispersal of any moisture resonant. Remove all shipping tape, plastic, cardboard, etc. from both the inside and the outside of the appliance. Open the porthole and remove the carton that is affixed firmly to the drum. Clean your appliance frequently on the interior and the exterior. In doing so, you will ensure top performance. Locate the appliance in the site selected, and if necessary, you may level the appliance by adjusting the front and back leveling legs up or down as may be required. For your own protection and to prevent any untoward outcomes, dispose of the cardboard and plastic appropriately. Be sure that the drum has completely rested from its cycle before opening the door. Dryer installation and grounding are by code and ought to be done by a licensed installer. Do not use an extension cord. Repair or replacement of a part should be made by a qualified service technician to prevent any damage to the machine. Disconnect the power before any servicing is carried out. The fiber, small bits of fiber, may remain attached to a garment if the vent is not regularly cleaned. By regularly clearing the vents of any lint, you ensure a strong, steady, and effective wind to do its job. Articles labeled dry away from heat should not be put into the drum. This includes foam, rubber, or plastic like material. The appliance can generate enough heat for some materials to get damaged. Always read the labels. Do not dry items that have been cleaned or spot cleaned with a dry cleaning solution, or articles saturated in any hazardous material, solvent, wax, or oil. Please keep the lint filter clean and the exhaust system kept free of any obstruction to permit the clear airflow necessary for proper drying and safe operation. Prolonged or improper use of fabric softeners may clog the lint filter, so please, periodically, would you please remove and wash the filter itself? Check the exhaust system every year or so for proper operation. The lint filter will thank you, and your appliance will last a long, long time at optimal performance. If the drum were ever to become stained or tinted, or non-color fast items or spotted from drying starched articles, you may wipe the drum with a soft cloth moistened with water, or if you please, a highly diluted solution of 1 part bleach and 20 parts water. After applying this, rinse it again with a damp cloth and then wipe it dry. Wipe it dry after you clean it off. We have installed 2 filters for optimal function. The outer is a coarse filter with larger holes, and within this is a second filter, a fine mesh filter. To remove it, put 2 fingers into the hole located nearer to the rim of the drum and pull. The fine filter is provided with a handle so that it may be pulled from the coarse filter for cleaning. After cleaning, carefully replace the filter in position. It will snap with a satisfying sound, and you will know that it is securely in place. The heater selector switch has 3 settings for your convenience: air fluff, maximum, and minimum. It is recommended that the maximum setting is used for cottons, linens, towels, etc., the things that have been brought forth from hardy plants. The minimum setting is recommended for synthetics such as nylon, acrylics, polyesters, and other materials that have come to us through human innovation and creative ingenuity. The timer control enables you to predetermine the drying time, whether for ironing or storing. It is not possible to state the exact drying time for specific loads because of varying moisture retention according to the type of fabric and the degree of dryness when put into the dryer, the load, and the setting of the heat selector. As an appropriate guide, a normal load will take 1 to 1.5 hours to dry. It takes a leisurely path to dry. Bath towels and thick fabrics may take a little longer. Therefore, it may be necessary to reset the timer for a further period if it is not dry to your satisfaction by the end of the timed cycle. When you set your timer, that is the perfect time to put up your feet, perhaps with a cup of tea or a cold, satisfying drink. The lull of the appliance may lull you, and you may find yourself falling into a pleasant, deep relaxation to the monotonous hum of the appliance. Feel free to put your head back and listen, allowing your mind to wander as the appliance does all of the work for you. Assuming that the timer control is set and a program selection made, the dryer will begin to operate as soon as the loading door is closed. The timer knob will gradually, slowly return to its original position, and at the end of the selected time, the dryer will automatically cool down and switch off and rest. You may now open the door by pulling gently on the handle. Place a load into the machine and close the door. Rotate the timer to the selected time. Rotate selected, timer set, and select air fluff, maximum, or minimum as you desire. Press start and the appliance will begin immediately to work away faithfully and efficiently while you may go and rest or do other things, knowing that this job at least is well seen to. The dryer is intended for use only where water solution is used in the cleaning process. Clothes that are dripping wet should not be loaded into the dryer. You may put them back into the washer for one final spin cycle. This will extract the excess water to a sufficient degree to place it in the dryer. Alternately, you may hang excessively wet clothing on a line outside in the sun and the breeze. The clothing will dance and drip freely and become sufficiently dry for further drying in the appliance. However, if you enjoy the look of a clothesline filled with happy dancing clothing, by all means, let them dance outside on the line. Let the wind do the work. Let the sun evaporate the water for you. Your clothing will have a fresh, outdoor scent, perhaps a nostalgic one from your childhood. If you do wish to use the appliance, however, put the load of laundry back into the drum. Close the door with a satisfying click. Set the settings to your liking, and the work will be done effortlessly. Silks and other delicate fabrics should never be dried completely, but only ironing dryness, whether they are for ironing or not. This will ensure that your silk or delicate fabric remains in good order and good condition. Some plastic buttons tend to warp and lose their original shape when subjected to an even moderate degree of heat, especially dry heat, whilst some kinds of plastic buttons ought not to be put in the dryer at all. In every instance, it is desirable to remove garments having plastic buttons at the damp, dry stage. Woolens should not be dried in the dryer, unless of course you intend to shrink them. Perhaps you would like your woolen sweater to be shrunken down for use by a smaller member of the family. It will felt slightly, but it will be all the warmer for it. After removing the clothing, when the load is finished, leave the loading door slightly open in order to air out the drum and avoid condensation inside. If you have been drying starched clothes, you you should wipe out the drum well with a damp cloth. This will ensure that there is no starchy buildup that may transfer onto clothing from a subsequent load. If you find excessive linting to occur, perhaps not enough detergent and water was used, or a non-phosphate detergent was used, or the washer was simply overloaded. Perhaps the lint filter has not been cleaned. Perhaps garments have been over-dried or at too high a temperature. Some fabrics, such as knitted woolens, should not be tumble dried. As previously mentioned, read the garment's permanent care label. Misuse of fabric softener in either the washer or the dryer. Static in garments may be caused by over-drying. Garments may be wrinkled during the washing process. Perhaps too small a load of clothing was dried, in which case it only needs a very short, gentle cycle. You may save the cost and inconvenience of unnecessary service calls by reviewing this easy-to-use checklist of all of the most frequently encountered situations. Review this often. You will find it to be helpful and encouraging for any hiccups you may find. Follow these steps and you will have a long and effective life of your appliance. And then you may sit back knowing you have made a very wise purchase, always in the medium, the low setting. The exhaust and overloaded garments may be sorted low, and then the